Welcome to the Fathering Strong podcast, where we connect, engage, and empower fathers to be the best dads they can be for their families and communities. And now, your hosts are Bruce Stapleton and Pastor Eli Williams.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Fathering Strong podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Stapleton, father, grandfather, and I guess I should say new father of a new daughter-in-law as of last week. So my
Congratulations.
youngest son just got married.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm Eli Williams. I'm a husband of going on 41 years. I'm a father. I've got a biological son. I have an adopted son, and I have a stepson. Plus, I'm a grandfather. I'm an author, pastor, and the president of Urban Light Ministries, which is the nonprofit that powers Fathering Strong. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. This is an exciting podcast for us this week with Father's Day coming up next Sunday. So we're going to talk today a little bit about how to examine some of the history of fatherhood and offer some suggestions for making this year's celebration even extra special for your dads out there.
Yeah, it's not talked about much, but fatherhood is one of the greatest institutions on earth. And when it's done right, there's nothing like fatherhood. It improves the welfare of children and families. It really makes communities a better place. And when the family is strong, communities are strong, churches are strong, and the world becomes a better place for raising children, a better place for living, because of fatherhood being done well. And so, dads, we deserve our day. Father's Day is observed annually in the United States on the third Sunday in June. And it's a day in which it has been set aside to honor fathers. But how did that all begin? Let's take a look at it, because there were several attempts to get Father's Day going. It wasn't easy. In 1908, a woman named Grace Golden Clayton held a church service in West Virginia to honor fathers. And she was particularly concerned with those who had been lost in a mining accident. Unfortunately, that church service didn't go over real well. It didn't gain widespread traction. So it wasn't quite the ticket when it came to getting something that was going to continue year after year. And then the next year, 1909, inspired by what Grace Golden Clayton had done, a woman by the name of Sonora Smart Dodd, a woman from Washington, proposed a day to honor fathers. Her own father, a Civil War veteran, had raised 6 children alone, and this motivated her to want to honor him and all fathers. And then in 1910, the first official Father's Day celebration occurred. That was in Spokane, Washington on June the 19th. Then it began to gain some traction. The idea gradually got support, with President Calvin Coolidge expressing his approval for it in 1924. It took many, many years later, in 1956, for Congress to pass a resolution recognizing Father's Day. But it still wasn't a national holiday. In 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson declared the third Sunday of June as Father's Day, finally, through an executive order. And then in 1972, President Richard Nixon, he did do some things right. President Richard Nixon signed the law that made Father's Day a permanent national holiday in the United States. So we've been celebrating Father's Day as an official national holiday since 1972.
Well, I'm older than that. I feel like I've been celebrating it, pretty much my entire life. So I didn't realize there was the specific dates on national holidays. And I know, with those earlier attempts that Sonora Smart Dodds did, and some of those other dedications made by others, ultimately established it as a holiday. But how popular do you think? What's sort of the numbers compared to Mother's Day? Father's Day's out there, and I know we celebrate it every June, but how does it compare to Mother's Day?
Not quite as well. I mean, good, but not as good as Mother's Day. In 2023, just last year, according to the research, Americans spent a record-breaking 22.9 billion with a B on Father's Day. That's a lot of money. But Mother's Day does even better. That year saw even higher spending, reaching 25 billion in 2023. So dads, we don't quite measure up to what the popularity of Mother's Day is, but that's not too bad. 22.9 billion spent on Father's Day compared to 25 billion in 2023 for Mother's Day. As far as participation goes, about 75% of Americans plan to celebrate Father's Day. So that's pretty good. 3/4 of Americans. And Mother's Day usually sees a higher percentage of people celebrating Mother's Day. Overall, YouGov polling ranks Father's Day as the sixth most popular national and religious event in the U.S. Number six. Mother's Day typically ranks higher than that in those same rankings. So while Father's Day is widely celebrated and generates significant spending, it doesn't quite reach the same level of popularity as Mother's Day. And I guess that's not surprising, and it really is okay, but we should be honoring our mothers and our fathers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed that with all the different reach that we're now getting in Fathering Strong, I mean, we're getting global reach. We're getting dads out there from around the world that are connecting with us. And, sort of interesting to see that, Father's Day is observed throughout the world in over 110 different countries. And even though it may not be celebrated on the exact same day, it's somewhat close. Canada, UK, Argentina do it on the third Sunday of June, similar to the US. But you got some other countries like Australia, New Zealand only do it on the first Sunday of September. Italy and Portugal observe it on March 19th, which is St. Joseph's Day. So each of those countries have their own local traditions, and but I think the good thing is they all honor and celebrate fatherhood and Father's Day. And there are some consistent themes that go along. I know when I was in the banquet servicing business, we'd always have the Mother's Day brunches, but we'd also always have the Father's Day cookouts. And people like to get together and celebrate fathers. So while the specific date and traditions may differ, at least the spirit of honoring fathers is shared across all the different cultures. So I think that's an important point. So we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to share some suggestions for making this year's Father's Day celebration even more special.
We dads and father figures need each other. We need a safe, non-judgmental place to share our stories, challenges, heartaches, and joys. Fathering Strong is just such a place. A new online community of connected, engaged, and empowered fathers. Learn more at www.fatheringstrong.com.
Welcome back to the Fathering Strong podcast. We're talking about Father's Day and how different people may celebrate. So, Eli, what's your plans for celebrating this year for Father's Day?
Well, I really haven't given this much thought. Usually what happens is my wife will ask me, well, where do you want to go for lunch after church for Father's Day? And I'll, I don't have much creativity when it comes to thinking about things for myself. But we'll end up at one of the restaurants that I enjoy, and she will drive because it's Father's Day. So I get to ride in the passenger seat as she takes me to lunch, and more often than not, she'll drive us home, and that's pretty much it. She'll give me a card, Happy Father's Day card, but honestly, that's about the extent of it. So I did some research to try to look for some new ideas for making Father's Day special, and I thought I would share those today. And here's what I found out. There are little things, simple things that can be done to make the day so much more fun, so much more special than typical. So, if you're planning on doing something with or for your dad this holiday, listen to some of these ideas. How about planning an activity that both you and your father enjoy? It could be something simple like going for a walk, taking a hike, or a bike ride. Or maybe he likes to play checkers, you know, sit and play checkers with him. Or perhaps, you go out and do something fun like go to a ball game. It may be even on television. Sit down and watch a television game together and just enjoy that time together. Plan a picnic, a family picnic. Just go pick dad up or have him meet you someplace and you go out and have a little lunch. It could be as simple as going to a fast food place and picking up some, a bucket of chicken and going out to the park and having a little lunch together as a family. I mean, that's a simple thing that can be really enjoyable, especially if it's something that's not done all the time. Maybe your dad is working on a project. Um, Volunteer. Go out and help him do something around the house. It doesn't have to be on Father's Day. You just let him know, Dad, it's Father's Day, and I'm going to help you with your project. So let me know what's a good time for me to come over and help you work on that. And that'll be my Father's Day gift to you. Or maybe you're creative and you want to create a personalized gift for him. Maybe a photo album. Write him a letter, maybe a piece of art if you like to draw or paint or whatever, anything really that expresses your love and your appreciation for your father will be well received. You'll be glad you did, and he'll be glad you did. When it comes to gifts, be thoughtful. Give it thought. It's not the first thing you see at the store, but really give it some thought as to what your father enjoys. What are his hobbies? What are his interests? Think about those things when choosing a gift. It could be something practical. Maybe there's a particular tool that he needs. If you don't know what that tool is, ask him, or talk to your mom, and ask: Is there something that I can get Dad that he could really use? Or maybe it's some kind of gadget. There's all kinds of stuff coming out. There's no end to these new electronic digital gadgets that you can buy, and some of those things you can actually personalize. Do you like to cook? How about cooking Dad his favorite meal? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever. It's a simple thing that really does show you care. And maybe it's an experience that you can give to your dad. Tickets to a concert, sporting event, a museum visit, something like that could be very memorable. And the time, if you spend that time with him at that event, that will be a memory that you've made with your father. Lots of other ideas out there. I discovered some really simple things. We talked about some of these things when it comes to Mother's Day. The same thing can be done for fathers, like writing him a letter or a poem. Yes, many men love poetry. Uh, Create a family time capsule. I mean, this is not something probably your father would do on his own. I wouldn't think. At least my father wouldn't. Create a time capsule. Take a box and fill it with photos and letters and other things, mementos, that your father could open at some future time. Plant a tree in his honor, or volunteer. Pick his favorite charity, and spend the day together, you and your dad volunteering together. That would make a pretty good memory, don't you think? Remember, it really is about spending quality time with your father. That will show him how much you really appreciate him.
Yeah, like you said, it's about setting some memories. One of the things my daughter did a couple of years ago, she gave me this book called Your Father's Story, and basically the idea is she wanted to know about who I was, and I'll just sort of read a little passage, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It says, I don't want to let time pass by without getting to know everything there is about you. I want to know more about myself through your eyes, and I want to spend some time walking in your shoes, if only to see the world from your view. So please take the time to answer the questions, no matter how small or insignificant you think it may be. This means everything to me. So I thought that was an important thing. I mean, that's, just as you're talking about, the different kinds of things, and you can go through, you can purchase these, you can do it yourself. But I mean, it just goes through to ask you different questions about who you were growing up, and how you see your children and things like that. And just, that was sort of her present. I thought that was pretty thoughtful, as she went through that. So yeah, and I
Yeah.
think,
I was when we were in Tennessee the other week. Stopped into this gift shop. I'm not so much for those kinds of stores and that kind of shopping, but my wife and her friend wanted to browse around through a gift store, so I went with them. It's a typical tourist trap, but I found some really nice Father's Day gifts, and I got this one: Daily Strength for Men. It's 365. It's a 365-day devotional, and it has these really nice uh, writings in it and scriptures and what have you that's inspirational for men. And I thought, I'm going to get this for myself. So I bought myself a Father's Day gift. How's that?
that's good. And as you brought that up too, if people are interested in getting their dad something like that, they can always download the devotional that we have on the website. They can go download that 30-day devotional. So that's another good idea. But I think, as you mentioned too, you can also look at ways for fathers to celebrate other fathers, on Father's Day. You can do things by, organizing group outings, like a group hiking. I know when I was in Boy Scouts, I know that's not Father's Day, but I mean, that was a good connection point to meet other fathers and other kids and sort of build those. And obviously you can do it around sporting events and things like that. And we used to have a neighborhood group that would get together with the neighborhood, like a once a year barbecue kind of thing, where we would, the whole neighborhood would post something. And I remember as growing up as a kid, they even had a little carnival in the neighborhood that you could do things. So it's all about, how can you bring the community together? Because Eli, as you said earlier, fatherhood's not just about building stronger families, it's about building stronger communities. So I think those are all important pieces to really drive this Father's Day tradition. Um, you know, and as you mentioned, there are ways of appreciation, just writing letters and offering a helping hand. I know my mom would tell me all the time, my dad was only happy when he had a project. And you mentioned project. So, if you could come and help your dad with that project, that would be something that, I know that they would really appreciate, or volunteer together and, do things as father, son, or daughter, father, that you could do together, whether it's volunteering, supporting local businesses that are, owned by different dads, or just spreading the word to encourage other dads to celebrate Father's Day and get involved in fathering strong in a community. I think that's, ways you can show your dad, how you love him and how he can get connected and grow stronger.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned fathering strong. That's good, because there is a way in which we can, as fathers, support one another, and really build up the institution of fatherhood itself, by forming community and doing things to encourage one another. Um, Perhaps by next year, you will have some ideas that your fatherhood group on Fathering Strong can do together, to encourage one another. And who knows, Bruce, we may even do something globally where fathers can take this on as a project to do something to celebrate other fathers during Father's Day. How would that be? Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be awesome. Yep. That would be good. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to look at some of the ways to observe Father's Day.
Do you know a new father who could benefit from a basic introduction to healthy fathering principles? Pops 101, A free online course consisting of 4 one-hour sessions in English or Spanish could be perfect for him. Pops 101 lays out practical steps toward becoming the protector, order keeper, provider, and stabilizer his child needs. Learn more at urbanlight.org.
Welcome back to the Fathering Strong podcast. We've been discussing ways in which fathers can celebrate each other to observe Father's Day. And I think it's good when a community comes together to recognize its fathers. We do something here in our local community called the Good Dad Award. And it's a way for the community to hold up to the light fathers who are really doing the best they can to be good fathers for their children and to be good father figures in their community. They should be recognized. They should be honored. They should be encouraged. And so for many years now, Urban Light Ministries has been providing this Good Dad Award. And the purpose of it is to raise awareness and promote good fatherhood through positive and meaningful recognition that inspires and motivates others. We have now close to 70 fathers this year who are going to be honored this coming Saturday at our Good Dad Awards, which we do in a public place, actually during the Juneteenth celebration that takes place on the third Saturday of each year. It started way before Juneteenth became a national holiday. We've been doing it here locally, as have many communities around the country. So we do the Father Fest activity during the Juneteenth day of celebration. And a key highlight of that is the Good Dad Awards. And as I said, close to 70 fathers were nominated this year. We're looking forward to presenting those. A good many of those fathers will be there to receive their certificates. And fathers from anywhere in the world actually can be nominated to receive their Good Dad Award certificate. It's available to anyone, anywhere, to recognize a father at any time. But we like to really play it up around Father's Day. So I want to encourage you that although you didn't make the deadline for this Father's Day, you certainly at any time can nominate your father or a good dad in your community for a Good Dad Award, and we will send them their certificate. There is some criteria, but you can learn about that. Just go to our website, www.urbanlight.org, and there you will see what the rules are, what the criteria is, and it's easy. We wanted it to be easy because we want to honor fathers. So go there and you can fill out the nomination form online, and their certificate will be mailed to them. This is all free, but of course, nothing is really free. So we encourage you that if you're able to make a donation to help us continue to provide these services and these resources free of charge based on your free will donation. So all of that is on the website. You'll see a button there to donate to help us to continue what we're doing, including this podcast, our blog posts, our many services, including the Good Dad Award, all of it funded through your generous donations. And we thank you in advance.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So make sure you take a look at this week's Fathering Strong blog post for more enlightening information. And celebrate fathers this Sunday. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today on Fathering Strong podcast. For more helpful written content, especially for dads, subscribe to Eli's Fathering Strong weekly blog at www.urbanlight.org. And next week, we're going to begin a new series entitled Being Pops. That's on the next edition of the Fathering Strong podcast. So join us next week.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Honoring fathers is not only a good idea, it is commanded by the Heavenly Father. The Holy Scriptures in Exodus 20 says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. That mandate is also found in the New Testament. So, happy Father's Day. And may the Lord bless you as you give your child what no one else on earth can, and that is your fully developed father love. That's Fathering Strong.
The Fathering Strong podcast is a production of Urban Light Ministries with technical assistance from the Momentum Group, and Howard Rayford provides the theme music. So thanks for listening.
Fathering Strong is powered by Urban Light Ministries, a not-for-profit organization serving the needs of families and children for nearly 30 years. Your support helps us continue turning the hearts of fathers to their children while meeting some of the immediate critical needs of struggling families with small children. Contributions of all sizes are welcomed at www.urbanlight.org.